Howdy folks, how are you? Just bear with me while I get everything set up. For those of you who will be watching later, obviously there's never anyone waiting for me to go live, but people normally drop in after 10 minutes or so. Pop the old laptop on and at least I can read the chat this time. How's everyone doing? Hello Becky, how you doing? Just get my chat up. Rachel, how you doing? I'm just getting my laptop ready and then I can see the chat properly. Give me a second. Here we go. All sorted now. I can open my beer. Oh, we can have a good old natter. And let me just get comfy because I've got the tripod here and I've got a leg right in front of me and I almost knocked the camera over. Is that Adam? How you doing? Oh. I'm never ready to go with lives, so you'll have to bear with me. I knew I'd knock the camera eventually. Got my laptop in front of me. So, how's everyone been doing of late? How's the allotmenting going, the metal detecting and everything else? And the fishing? I haven't been fishing for so long now. I think I've forgotten how to fish. The flooded plot's alright, thanks Janet. Yeah, it's pretty good. Down there today, getting the eggs and stuff like that, and we weeded another bed, and what I've been doing since the rain stopped, we've just been going down. When I say we, me and my son went down there today because he's off school at the moment, which I'll get to in a minute. I've been, when I say we as well, the chickens. So we've literally been, they've been scratting. I've been putting on certain areas. They've been scratting around, digging everything up, which is good. They were in the strawberry bed today, eating loads of slugs that were hidden under the last. Reconnected again. I don't know why it does that. I've got super fast internet and it always buffers. Apologies for that. I don't know why. But yeah, so I've probably done 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 4 raised beds now, weeded and ready to go, which I'm quite happy about. One of my raised beds that I made last year, which I didn't put any compost in, for my lettuce leaves. I filled that up with last year's potato compost has gone into there to grow my lettuces in this year. So that'll be good. And I built it in such a way that I can get netting over it. But I've digressed. In short, the flooded plot is great. It's good. And fingers crossed the rain is really died off now. We're just getting normal amounts of rain, not stupid amounts of rain. You're going to have Corona beer tonight? Yes, because I'm not American. Apologies to all you Americans out there. But we were in the UK. I don't know how true this is. You know, you're never quite sure. But we've had reports that apparently something like 85% of America... no, get it right. Something like 85% of Corona beer sales have like plummeted in America because some Americans think you can get the coronavirus from drinking Corona beer. That's how Donald Trump won the election now, doesn't it? I apologise. I know not all Americans are like that, just like not all Brits are, you know, crazy bloody nationalist nut jobs, so I get it. Going stir crazy, Becky. Oh, I bet. I know how you feel because it just frustrates the hell out of me not going outside. I just literally get so miserable. I get so moody. It's untrue. Right, I'm going to crack open a beer. Apologies for the sound. Okay, it's in a can, so I apologise for the purists out there. But we're having some hobgoblin. I do like hobgoblin. I do like anything from Witchwood, to be fair. Let me just turn... Oh, that's better. So yeah, well, I am having it in a glass. I'm not a complete heathen. Unless I'm really desperate, I don't drink beer out of a can anymore. Unless I'm in a field somewhere. I've got to watch this because normally when I pour them and I do lives, hello, is it? I don't know. I've no idea why it keeps buffering. I bet my son's probably on his Xbox. To be fair, I'll have to message him and say, get off your Xbox. So how's everyone else doing anyway? What have we got on there? No, we're past the buying freaks of nature. I'm going to get to that in a minute as well, actually, because I've got something to talk about panic buying. Some of you probably think, well, won't like me either. So, but I'll get to that in a minute. Building more raised beds at the weekend. Cool. Yeah, I've got a couple of raised beds that I still want to build, but I also need to get in touch with my mate Steve, who's the heating engineer. Shropshire Oil-Fired Services is his company, and he services oil-fired boilers and stuff, and I don't really know, that kind of central heating thing around Shropshire. And he sorted me out those plastic raised beds, and I want to get some more from him, so I need to message him actually. But what with the whole virus and everything, I just don't really want to talk to people. For those that you that don't know, obviously you know from my channel that I've got this weird muscle disability, but I'm also very susceptible to chest infections, and I have to be very careful. Touch wood, I've not had, well, I don't think I've had pneumonia. I had swine flu when swine flu came around, and it was probably one of the worst illnesses I've ever had. It was, I don't want to be too disgusting about it, but I spent 3 days just constantly bringing up stuff from my lungs to the point where I was filling up pint glasses in a matter of, 10 minutes. It was disgusting. It was horrible, and I honestly thought it was going to finish me off, but I got through it and I was fine. But obviously I'm always worried, and now I have my flu jab. I have all the different jabs you can go for vaccines, and I try and fight off colds if I can, but if they move to my chest, I have to have antibiotics. So, and my son is exactly the same, and my son had pneumonia when he was like 5, and it was really, really serious, to the point where the doctor actually said, when I said to him, he's going to be okay, isn't he? And the doctor was like, well, we can't make, he goes, we're going to do our best, but we can't promise anything. And when they say that, you kind of like, oh shit, this is really serious. So it's back live again. It keeps buffering. Really sorry. So then what we decided to do is we've taken the kids out of school. And my other half works in a call centre, so she's not too bad because it's only like a small group of people. Obviously I don't go anywhere other than the allotment and back. But I'm not seeing really any friends, not going to the pub, not doing anything like this. Seth's at school, my daughter's out of school, and we're just having the next week of basically isolating ourselves from it all, just to see if it all blows over, because we don't want to run the risk of getting coronavirus. So I don't really want to go and see my mate, anybody outside my immediate family. Might sound really crazy that, but it's just what we're going to do kind of thing, because I really can't risk getting a chest infection. Yeah, they've cancelled sporting events here too in the UK, which is really gutting because I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm 36 years old, and I don't remember us winning the Premier League in 1990 because I was like 7. So I've never seen us win the win the league. It's been 30 years, and we're currently, if you don't know, we're smashing the Premier League. We're 22 points clear, and we only need to win 2 games, and there's still 10 games to go, and we win the league. And all events are cancelled. And my mates who aren't Liverpool fans are wetting themselves laughing, saying you've waited 30 years to win the league, and it looks like no football team could stop you because we're 22 points clear. So God created a virus to stop Liverpool winning the league, and I'm like, no. I just hope they just carry on and play the rest of the season. But yeah, it's just typical. I'm starting to think as a Liverpool fan sometimes we're just not destined to win it anymore. The only alcohol you drink is Lambrini and don't like the taste of the rest. But see, my other half she doesn't drink anymore, but she never used to like the taste of alcohol, but she used to drink alcohol because obviously, when we were younger and we were going out and going to the pubs, you like the effect of alcohol, don't you? So I got her onto a drink that she quite enjoyed, which is a apple teeny, which is a vodka and lemonade with 2 shots of apple sours in it, and it tastes like a sour apple juice. it's enough for you to get that alcohol kick kind of thing. But no, she doesn't drink anymore. Just me. You've got a cold, so no one wants to be near you. Yeah, no, I think anyone who sneezes at the moment just gets shot on sight. Well, that's what they were doing in China anyway. Oh, it's shocking, Becky. Yeah, that's and that's kind of what we're doing at the moment, because I just don't. That's at an age now where school is not that important. He's year 8, which is what that's like, age. He's 13. It's not a big deal. Esme is 7, so her missing a few days of school is not a big deal. There's my son popping up on my live chat, which means I can't swear or do anything. Can I? No, Seth. Thanks very much. I was just talking about him as well. So it's just not that important. So we're going to have a week and we're going to see how things go. But I have just pouring a beer. I haven't stockpiled, and I haven't. Well, no, sorry. I haven't panic buyed, but I've stockpiled because as of when the virus come out in China and they started talking about it, I like the idea of prepping. I just never had the money to do it, and I don't have the space in our house. My old house, I had 2 big pantries, and one of those used to have to be full of food all year round. We used to call it the apocalypse cupboard, and we haven't got any space for anything like that here because it's small. It's a really small kitchen, so I only really can't normally keep 2 weeks worth of food in the house now. But as soon as that virus come out in China, and when they shut down, is it Wuhan? Yeah, Wuhan. When they shut Wuhan down, I thought this is a bit serious, because that was like 20 million people or something stupid, and I thought to myself, my son's logged in on his phone now. Sorry. When they shut that city down, I thought that's quite serious. You don't just shut a city down, and we're relying on biscuits and this, that, and the other. And I thought to myself, well, I don't want to get into that situation. We've got a couple of weeks worth of food in the house, but I want more. So I went to. Is it buffering really bad? Oh, it is buffer. I don't know why it's buffering really bad. Right, just let me check my settings on my phone. A second. Right. I'm going to say, Seth, get off the internet, because it's a bit pointless you watching me when you see me every day. Right, I've turned my 3G off now, so I'm just in case it's jumping from 3G to Wi-Fi, 3G to Wi-Fi, which sometimes it can do. Cheers, mate. Thanks, Seth. Go playing Call of Duty for the next 20 minutes. We will manage. Yeah, it's had a black screen a minute ago. Just now. Well, I've tried just solely on the Wi-Fi now. Let's see how it goes. I think sometimes my phone jumps from 3G to Wi-Fi, whichever the stronger signal. Because I've got like 60 gig 3G at the moment, I think it's like going, oh, that's a really good signal, and it keeps fleeting. So we'll just set it solely on the Wi-Fi and see how that goes. Anyway, so when they shut down Wutan, I thought to myself, I don't want to get in the situation where I'm in the house, we're locked down, and there's no food. So I went out. Well, I didn't go out. I ordered online a month's worth of tinned food. I also ordered a load of toilet roll, and I didn't do that for any other reason than I saw online that there was factories in China that made the recycled paper for toilet roll for around the world that weren't opening because their staff had been quarantined because of the viruses. So I went out and I bought. This was weeks ago, before the panic buying. Absolutely, this was before anyone in the UK even thought coronavirus was a thing. Right, this is when we were all going, and I stashed it away, and well, yeah, so far so good, because I've got a month's worth of stuff and a month's worth of toilet roll, and everyone's panic buying, and I'm going, yeah, I did that ages ago. But I did it when there was loads of stuff on the shelves, and I did a little bit and stocked it all up, and everything was good. So some people were saying to me, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. You're part of the problem." It's like, how was I part of the problem? I did it weeks before anyone else. When I went to the shops, the shelves were full, and I just got, rather than getting 1 week, 2 week shopping, I got 4 week shopping. What's the issue? Seems okay now. Yeah, I think for some reason in my house it always drops in and out, and I don't know why. Um, which is crazy, because me and Seth both play Call of Duty, and we game on the Xbox and stuff, and we have very few issues with gaming. Yet for some reason, and we stream, we have Netflix, we have Amazon, we watch YouTube on the TV, all of that's fine. But for some reason, when I do a live, it buffers. I have no idea. Oh, who gives a crap? Yeah, I looked at that. I did look at that. But it's one of those things where I don't want to stand in order for loo roll. I know we still spend the same, or probably less, but it just feels a bit weird. Maybe I'm just mental. Thinking ahead, yeah. Country life crafts. Problem with YouTube. We will manage. We will manage indeed. Right, let me have a sip of my beer. So yeah, so kids have come out of school. I'm stocked up for a month. I'm still going down the allotment, feed the chickens and everything, because it's not an airborne virus, so I don't really care about that. And just bracing ourselves really for. I just can't believe that the UK hasn't shut down yet. It's a bit strange, but apparently Bojo the clown wants to do things a bit differently to the rest of the world. Apparently he wants to do the herd immunisation approach, which is basically you let everyone get it, those that die, those that don't die are immune to it, and yeah, okay. What's the next thing to grow or do on your allotment? Well, as I was saying, I made those beds. I've got those beds ready this week. So I have tomatoes, cucumber, sunflowers, pumpkins, petit pan, chilies, peppers, all on the windowsill now. In seed, some of the seeds are sprouted, getting ready. Then I need to sow some wildflower seeds in the next couple of days in the garden and down the allotment. So they will get ready. Then now I've weeded some of the beds. I need to get some lettuce in. Some spring onions in, greens like cabbage, kale, that kind of thing. Then I'll need to put some plants in for the garden, like seed cells. So I want like my calendula, some more sunflowers. I want poppies, cosmos, and lobelia for the rockery at the back. Yeah, so that's literally the next few things over the next couple of weeks. It's busy time now, March, because you're getting into that sewing. I mean, my bag's not there. My sewing bag, I've got I've got three plastic Chinese takeaway containers full of seed packets, which are all to sow in the next 2 weeks. And then once I've sown them, I will then sort through my seeds, and I'll do April's batch of seeds. And April's batch of seeds will be, it will be like twice as much again. It'll be like 6 Chinese containers full of seeds to sow. It'll be hundreds of seeds, because that'll be pretty much all the food for the allotment. With other than sweet corn and swede, which is next the month after, April was when will be when I start getting everything. So really, and even stuff that is a bit early, I'll start sowing some and putting them in the greenhouse, because although there's still that risk of frost, and although some things, will always catch up, sometimes, and we get a good spring, and then what we can do is get the sweet corn in slightly earlier. It means we have a slightly earlier harvest, then sow some more seeds, and then we can get a longer harvest kind of thing. So that's the plan. By the way, if I keep itching, it's because I had a heart monitor. Nothing serious. I have one every couple of years, and I've nothing wrong with my heart. Whatever. I have a heart monitor put on this weekend, and they had to shave parts of my chest to put the sticky on, and it was like yesterday, and I think the hair's God, it's driving me up the wall. The list of things to do is too long because it's singled out everything. Yeah, it's mental. Yeah, definitely a few nice jobs. Hey, Ray's Allotment, how you doing? I'm in Shropshire, mate. Yeah, so I imagine you're English. If you're not English, Shropshire is in the Midlands, and it's to the west of England, before you get to Wales. So it's like the last west county in the Midlands, and then there's Wales, kind of thing. And there's a saying in Shropshire, which will give you a good idea of where Shropshire would have a lovely beach. So yeah. Just bear with me. I just want to turn the sound up a second, see where I am. Just bear with me. I just want to turn the sound up a second, see where I am. Okay. It's alright because I'm keeping an eye on the buffering, and I just saw it buffer then on my screen, and it was about a second, so it's not too bad. Fingers crossed. Yorkshire. Oh, you've had some bad floods there, haven't you? Even the last couple of years, you've had some bad floods. Yorkshire way. Lancashire here. Lancashire and Yorkshire. Oh, there's going to be a rivalry in the chat. Hi Sam, how you doing? Who else is on there? Oh, you're in Worcestershire. Yeah, that's right. I think we've spoken about it before, haven't we? Worcestershire. Yeah, my other half's got friends in Gloucestershire. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, fire away. I can't think what else I was going to talk about. Done coronavirus, done the school kind of thing, done some of the allotment. There's something else. Oh yeah, yeah. If you go to the coronavirus pod, you wait in your car, and then they come out in a hazmat suit, lean into the window, swab your nose, and then you drive off. So it's like a drive-through test centre. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was quite impressive. Love each other really, Lancashire and Yorkshire. I believe you. Thousands wouldn't. I'm just starting to. Well, I've always been into my cricket rivalry, but a big everything rivalry really. But Esme plays cricket now, so I think we're probably going to end up joining like a cricket club as like a family. So that should be quite nice in the summer. Might go and watch a few local games. Have a gin on the lawn with a cucumber sandwich. Yeah, I always forget you're in Flintshire, Nick. It's Wobbly Bob. Hello, Wobbly Bob. You always miss it, and you always comment saying, "I'm sorry, I missed it." It's like, don't worry, mate. It's great. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, what has everyone else been doing down your allotment, metal detecting, whatever? I was saying I haven't been metal detecting because the fields have been so wet, and it's just been nightmarish. And fishing, the rivers have been up, and to be fair, when it's raining, I don't like fishing in the rain. It's not pleasant, and I go fishing to enjoy myself. Don't go fishing for the pure just need to go and catch a fish kind of thing. So I want to go enjoy it and look at the wildlife and bask in a few sun rays kind of thing. Yeah, if the UK gets locked down, self-isolate on the plot. That's the point, isn't it? If we do go into lockdown, it just means that events and stuff are stopped. But me, walking out my house, getting into my car, and then walking into a locked allotment will be great because there'll be no one else on the roads or doing anything. It'd be brilliant. Someone asked the UK chief medical officer on the radio the other day if they were self isolating, if they could still go jogging, and he said his exact, well, I'll paraphrase because I can't remember his exact words, but he said if you go jogging around the local park and you jog all the way around the park, he says, and you don't stop to talk to anyone, he says, and then you go straight home, he says there's nothing wrong with that. He said if you go and jog around the park, meet your mate halfway, sit on a bench, have a chat for 20 minutes, and then decide you might pop and go get a coffee on your way home, he said that's not okay and that's not self-isolating. So self-isolating to me, yeah, it sounds quite bad, but it doesn't mean you can't go down your allotment. And I would definitely be going down there because I've got to feed the chickens. Tidied the shed, that's a good one. Yeah, I love a good shed tidy. I'm due. Last time when I tidied my shed, I tidied it all out, made it nice and clean. It was all good. Went back there a week later, and a wasp had put its nest in the top of it. Luckily, it was only small. I just knocked it down with the hoe. But yeah, it's just typical, isn't it? So I need to do that again this year because obviously I don't want a wasp to get in and make a nest somewhere else that I can't spot it. And before you know it, it's the size of a football, and I've got 1,000 angry wasps in there. Looking at the garden through the window. Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I was doing. I cleaned the patio area the other day because obviously we've had all of winter and the slime and rubbish that falls on the patios over here because of all the rain. And I cleaned that off, and obviously because we've had the whole winter not being out there as much and all the leaves. Obviously we've got a dog, so although we pick his poo up every day, it's you know he goes out as a poo and then it pours down in rain, and it's just not great. So we clean it up and we jet wash it like all. Well, we've got a powerful hose pipe and we clean it down all the time. But I went out and I gave it a proper good scrub, and after I'd finished, I was like, yes, been in the garden, been in the garden. I've been staring at the garden through a couple of weeks, but it'll be fine. I've seen a rat in my shed. I haven't been back since. Get yourself, well, get yourself a humane rat trap. And the only reason I say get a humane rat trap is so you don't kill a bird or a hedgehog or something else that goes in the shed or out around the shed to get it. And then get yourself a 2-2 air rifle and blow its tiny little brains out. Yeah, so I'm probably going to offend lots of people for that, but no, I kill rats all the time. I wouldn't put poison down, a robin or another bird or a hedgehog or something like that. But at least with the humane trap, I can catch the rat. I know it's only the rat I've caught, and I put the air rifle up against the bars of the cage, and 9 times out of 10, the rat comes to investigate what this thing is because it goes to try and bite it, and as it bites on the end of it, pop, and it doesn't even know things happened. It's like the quickest, and I still swear it's 10 times quicker than a snap trap, which sometimes can go wrong and break their back, and then they don't actually die instantly, they suffocate to death because you've crushed their lungs. So no, humane trap and an air rifle, best way to get rid of rats. It's still buffer. Is it buffering still? Oh no. Yeah, it's still buffering, isn't it? What's wrong with that? Hang on, folks. You can still hear me. Yeah, everyone can hear me. Can everyone see me now? Can everyone see me now? I only got 7 watching now. 8 watching. I don't know what's going on with this. I'm gonna have to seriously look into this. It's done it now the last few times, and my internet's really good, which is annoying. It's really good internet, and I don't know why. I wonder if it's like a YouTube thing. Madness. Part of me wonders whether I should just put the 3G on. Bear with me a second. Just this will help, guys, because I can experiment and see what's best. So it might buffer now because obviously it'll switch from one to the other, so that I imagine there'll be a drop in connection. So, right, folks, that should be working on the 3G now. Back. Right, we're not off the Wi-Fi, we're on the 3G. We'll give that a go. And then I'll look into it over the next couple of weeks and see why it keeps doing it, because it shouldn't do it. It's a bit silly. I can't think what we were talking about. Rat traps, looking after rats, chickens. Not why. Never went. Oh, if you could, what scheduled land would you like to metal detect on? That's a hard one, that is. I think a battle site would be quite cool. I'd quite like to dig up musket balls or something that, you know, have been used in battle. That'll be quite cool. Obviously, I'm not condoning this. You can't do it in the UK. It's illegal. Don't do it. But it's like a bit of a dream, isn't it? Imagine if you could, you know, with the last man on Earth, you know, and you could go anywhere you wanted, do anything you wanted to do. Where would you go? My thing would be I would go to the Vatican vaults and have a rummage through and see what the Catholic Church or Christians were hiding. So, you know, in that situation, it's not saying go on scheduled monuments. If you do, you're an idiot and you deserve to be beaten to death with a metal detector. But yeah, if you could, a battle site would be quite cool. The grounds of a palace, like Buckingham Palace or this and the other, but not for like the jewellery kind of thing, but just there'll have been so many people there over the years in garden parties and stuff, that there'll be so much stuff. Imagine it'd be amazing, and there wouldn't be much rubbish, because if they'd have dropped a crisp packet or whatever in 1975, the gardener would have picked it up. So I bet if they dropped a rusty nail, the gardener would have picked it up. So I imagine like Buckingham Palace gardens are probably just all silver, gold, copper and bronze, and no trash. That'd be amazing. And probably because I'm from Shropshire, I would like to do, you know, something like the Wrekin, which is where the Bronze Age. That would be cool. But you can't do it, so don't do it. It's just a dream and a fantasy. And the only time you can ever do it is if coronavirus wipes out everyone on the world and you're the last person left. That's the only time you can do it. Oh, that's really cool. Military buttons. Oh, magnet fishing. Yeah, I'd like to give that a go. Unfortunately, though, silver and gold aren't magnetic. And so whereas a metal detectorist can be quite lucky and stumble upon a hammered coin worth about 100 quid, or, you know, a gold coin worth like £1,000, magnet fishing, you've literally got to pull out a stolen safe before you can like make any money, because everything you'll pull out will be rusty and iron and stuff. But it's a really cool idea. I have wanted to do it, but I just think there's a lot of rubbish, so much rubbish that I've watched the videos and I think I don't even get that much rubbish metal detecting. So yeah. Old bank site. fresh special. Okay, cool. I think I've caught up with the trap. High country life. I mean, give magnet fishing a go by all means. It doesn't. It appeals to me, but not in the same way as metal detecting or fishing or the allotment. It's one of those things. I think I could do it once, and then that will be enough for me. The idea of pulling out just loads of iron and stuff. I don't know, and most of it's just. Oh, I don't know. Something about it. It looks cool, but I just find it whimsical because I just think waterways have been used for like rubbish dumps for years, and it's and some of the really interesting things, like it's not just gold and silver I'm interested in, but like bottles and all things like that. You're not going to get out with a magnet, so I don't know. I might try it once. But if you want a magnet fish, you obviously like history and finding stuff. Consider getting a metal detector and joining a club or something, because it's ace. It's really cool, and I get excited by all manner of stuff that I find in farmers' fields, and it's if you're a history geek, it's really cool. Buffering again, isn't it? Um, it is amazing how much stuff's still in the ground and how much stuff has probably been lost forever because of building sites and the fact that the councils won't allow metal detectorists to go on land. Like my council, there was a field down the road next to a church. It wasn't scheduled, it wasn't listed, it wasn't a graveyard, it was just an old farmer's field, and it was put up for sale for builders. And I messaged the council and said, when they cut the grass on it, could I metal detect it? And the council said no, because if I caused any damage, me with a tiny little spade, I was like, I'm going to dig like 6-inch holes and that's it. And they said no, can't do it. So I was like, right. And then about 3 months later, they had about, I don't know, 4 JCBs and backhoes on there, and they dug up the entire field 3 foot deep. They had an archaeological survey on there that literally dug a tiny little hole, and they went, nah, it's fine. Then they cleared the entire field with JCBs. All the topsoil was just dumped into wagons, and it was sent off to wherever, topsoil companies and this, that and the other, to be put into bags and sold to gardeners. But they wouldn't let me go on it with a metal detector and a tiny spade because I might cause some damage. It's just madness. And you just think to yourself, imagine the stuff that was in that field next to a Victorian church, on an old farm site in the middle of Telford, where the Industrial Revolution started, where we've got Iron Age hill forts. We've got Roman villa literally just down the road from this field. 5 miles away is a Roman villa, and about 7 miles away there is a Roman barracks. And all that soil was just scooped up and taken away. There was probably Roman coins, there was medieval coins, there would be the church, there'd definitely be Victorian stuff there. There was probably jewellery, there was probably buttons, everything, and it all lost, gone for history forever, because they won't allow metal detectors to go on it. Makes me sad. Yeah, well, although I'm in Shropshire, I'm in Telford, so this was Telford and Wrekin Council. So, but Shropshire apparently are exactly the same. And it's just sad. It's just madness. We don't cause any damage. Layer, and take it off to plants to be processed. Madness. Tell you what, I'd love to check the filters though on those plants. Where all this soil goes to be filtered and have the stones taken out, and they sell the soil on and this, that, and the other. Imagine what those filters are like. There's probably all sorts in there. Or I'd like to go where that's all been dumped. That would be quite cool. Yeah, I saw that about the turntable. That's really cool. And it comes out of HS2. Yeah, I'm always careful with that kind of thing. We wear gloves as well, metal detecting. Um, to be fair, we mainly do farm fields, or in the middle of the nowhere. So I know you've got to be careful, because there has been instances of medical waste getting mixed in with manure and stuff like that. But no, they know and I know, and it's just, if the signal's shallow, I tend to be more careful because I know it's in that top layer. Most of the things I'm going for are like way down. So and it's normally pasture and it hasn't been ploughed for like 100 years or whatever. So I know that if it's deeper than 6 inches, chances are it's not scrap metal or anything like that. So yeah, but I am careful. What's the best thing I found? Best thing we've found, because I didn't find it, Seth did. I've got a video about it. He found a medieval 13th century book mount, which is a little bronze cross that would have gone on a book like the Bible or something like that in medieval times to hold the leather in place. We found it in field about 10 mile away, and it's actually got registered with the local museum. We've got it still. It's not valuable. It's only made of bronze, and then it was gilded over. There's some of the gilding left on it and some of the detail, but it got registered with the Pass Portable Antiquities scheme, and the archaeologist said it was 13th century, or possibly 13th century. So yeah, that's the coolest thing. But Seth found that, not me. It's the coolest thing I found. But yeah, Roman pencil was pretty cool. And what else have I had? A few buckles. I had a Civil War cavalry buckle, which was quite nice. What else? What else have I had? A medieval token. Not had a hammer coin yet, which I'd quite like. But you know, Seth is the best. Book mount. Yeah, really nice. That's right, that is, because they don't want us to find anything to hold up the building works. It's exactly that. Because if you pulled out a really nice gold Roman ring out of a field, which is, I'm not saying it's likely, but it's possible, next thing you know, you'd have a load of archaeologists there doing a full survey on that field, which they should do, which I'd encourage. But because the councils don't want that to happen, they'd rather everything just be scooped away, have a pissy service done by the local archaeology team that probably haven't got, probably want to do it but haven't got time or the means to do a full survey, not being paid to do it. So they do a little test pit, dig a hole, and then go, yes, fine, you can build now. Yeah, water level on the plot's good. Yeah, it's good, thank you. It's alright, we talked about that before, so I don't want to repeat old things, but yeah, it's good. You built a grow room because the kids don't like your plants. That's great, that is. And then if the police come around and they see a grow room in your house, then you get arrested for having a cannabis factory. Yeah, my plants will be all over the house very soon. It'll be ridiculous. It'll be like a garden centre. They'll be in every window. Well, they will be if the weather drops cold. You know, if I sow everything in the greenhouse, it's looking good, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I need to get these plants in. As you know, it's going to be -6 or whatever. But I'm hoping that I can stagger it in such a way that I manage to get them outside. And I'm just guessing at the moment, but I don't think we're going to have a cold spring. I'm just looking at certain things in nature, and I'm thinking that we've probably had. Yay, live again. Sorry for the buffering. Yeah, they're paid to say it's okay. That wouldn't surprise me. Can swap it for toilet rolls. I got 96 toilet rolls. 96. Yes, and I had them for weeks. I didn't panic buy. I had them for weeks. 96. I'll sell them all for £1 each, and that will make up for the money I lost on the horse racing. No, I didn't lose any money on horse racing. In fact, I am up on the horse racing after the Cheltenham Festival, but I would have liked to have been considerably up, but instead I'm only up a pair of loppers. Yeah, I wanted a pair of loppers. I won 20 quid, so I bought a pair of loppers. So yeah, but I would have liked to have had a pair of loppers and, you know, a couple of 100 quid worth of beer money. But sadly, not this year. Bugger. Saw your grow room. I presume. Right, pour some more beer out. Just realised my glass is almost empty. Oh, quite enjoying my beer today. I had some hideous beer the other day. I think I've probably seen the video, but yeah, it's quite nice to go back to a trusted friend. Because I think there's a bit of a conversation going on, which is cool, which is good, and I've just got drawn into it. See, I don't grow that many broad beans, so I don't really know much about them, to be fair. But it doesn't seem early to me. I always, in my head, I always think of broad beans being like one of the first things that like flowers down the allotment. So, you know, I think outside ones are tiny, so the same. Because you can sow broad beans though in the autumn though, can't you? So they grow in the autumn. They kind of overwinter, but they're still quite big. Is that right? And then they flower early spring, and then you get an early crop of beans. Like I said, I'm not an expert in broad beans because I've grown them like 3 times in my life because I'm the only one that really eats them. So it's, in the end, if I want it, I buy a pack or something. Still small your autumn ones. Okay. So in my head, autumn broad beans are normally quite big by now. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. Right, folks. Oh, you wish you could drink beer, but diabetes, won't you? Yeah, excuse me. I don't know much about that. I don't know if there's any beers that are low in sugar or anything like that, or it's certain beers. I don't know. But yeah, I can get your frustration in that because I like beer. I mean, I like the taste of beer. I like the taste of alcohol, and I've tried loads of alcohol-free beers because I wouldn't sit here of an evening and drink cans of Diet Coke. I might have the occasional Fanta, but fizziness doesn't really interest me. But I enjoy beer. It's a pleasurable thing to me. It's a bit like smoking, and I you know, I get why smoking is enjoyable. I get why drinking coffee is enjoyable. It's like that adult thing, and if there was a non-alcoholic beer that tasted like beer, I'd probably drink it. But there isn't, and I've tasted loads of non-alcoholic beers, and obviously the sugar's the alcohol and so on and so forth. But you just don't cut up to it really. So yeah, apologies that I'm drinking beer and you're not, but it's really nice. A glass of red wine while watching. That's really good. I used to work for a wine merchant, and he always used to say, we're back live, there you go, have 2 bottles of really decent wine, he says, and then buy the rest of the bottles as always really cheap stuff. He says, because once you've had 2 big glasses of wine, he says, the third one you don't taste properly anyway. And this was a guy who was, you know, a multimillionaire, and he was a nice guy, and he basically admitted that after 2 glasses of wine you can't taste the difference. So don't buy your friends or your guests any more. You know, don't keep plying them with expensive wine because you just don't appreciate it. And so I tried this thing. So I used to get wine from the wine merchants. I used to get it at like cost price, which was really nice. So I got to try some really nice wines that I wouldn't normally buy. You know, like 25, 30 pound bottles of wines from like, well, even more than that from restaurants. They'd be like 50, 60 pound bottles of wines, and I was getting them at like it's gonna kill you now, but wines that they sell in restaurants that cost like 60 quid, you can buy in wine merchants for about 6, 7 quid, sometimes 8 quid. I know that's like the cost price. It's madness. The markup is crazy. Sometimes a house bottle of wine, which is 20 quid. Well, back then the 20 quid house bottle of wine was costing about £2.30, £2.40 to buy. Yeah, so it's madness. And then after you've had 2 glasses, you can't tell the difference between a good one or a bad one, and it's so true. It's so true. If you've got a local small wine merchant nearby, go and check them out, because anything they're selling for a fiver will probably be 30 to 40 quid, maybe more, in any wine bar. So you could really get yourself some really nice wines for nothing whatsoever. These virgin wines aren't the same. These Majestic aren't the same. But these independent wine merchants are really, really good. There's a champagne out there called Montmartre, and it's a small vineyard in, obviously, Champagne, that makes like family wine kind of thing, and their champagne is absolutely amazing. And in a wine merchant, it's like 25 quid a bottle, but you go to a posh wine bar in Chester. Anyway, I digress. Make your own rosé wine. Yeah, I'm going to be trying some. Is it? Oh, it's buffering again. Sorry. I'm going to be trying some elderflower wine soon. Well, when the elderflowers are out. You're at work, no drinking. At work on YouTube, fair play. Peas in a hanging basket. That's a really cool idea. I like that. I do like that. I do like that a lot. Craft 40 bottles for £50. Working the gastro front. Yeah, markup is absolutely obscene. Absolutely obscene. But yeah, like I said, independent wine merchant, it's good. If you like, well, when I worked there, we would obviously have samples in for people to try, the salespeople and the wine buyer and stuff. And at the end of the day, there would be loads of bottles of wine left over that only had like that much taken out, because they pour out, spit it into a bucket, mark it, and then they do another one, and then the corks would get put in. And so at the end of the week, there'd be wine in the fridge, wine everywhere. And boss just used to say, it's going to go bad, you might as well have it. Someone have some wine, that one's good, that one's alright, that one's nice with fish, whatever. So you'd walk out there with 2-3 bottles of wine that were open and need drunking like in the next 3 to 4 days. And I have no word of a lie, I got to the point where I was probably drinking a bottle of wine a night, because it was free and it was just there. And it was, and the next thing I know, I put on like loads of weight, and I'm not exactly slim as it is. And I was probably really like a borderline social alcoholic. I mean, I was fine in the day and I never had a hangover, but I went home, first thing I did, glass of wine, glass of wine, because it was like free wine. Yeah, do like wine, but I don't drink it as much anymore. Just because I can't. I think my body just can't do it anymore. If I drunk 3 or 4 glasses of red wine now, the headache I'd have in the morning would be terrible. Stationary laws, and they have some outstanding wine. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, let's wait for it to buffer. A couple of years ago, I was when I was learning to fly, we went to RAF Cranwell up north, and we were drinking in the officers. No, the officer. We were drinking in the sergeant's mess, I think it was. Well, it wasn't the officers' mess, but it was one of the messes. And I couldn't believe how cheap you servicemen and women get your booze. I was drinking Jack Daniels at 70p a glass. 70p a glass, and that was about 3 years ago. What was a Jack Daniels cost in like? And it was funny because we'd all gone there as complete strangers to do the scholarship to learn to fly. None of us knew each other, and all of a sudden there was a group of people that were quite prim and proper, and that they, you could tell that they were quite sensible people, and most of them were from down south. And then there was us, who were from the Midlands or from the north. There was a Scouser, a Manc, there was me, there was a lad from Northern Ireland, there was somebody from, where was he from? Somebody from maybe Yorkshire or somewhere that way, or Newcastle way, I can't remember. And we all just migrated to the bar and the pool table. So while all the posh people sat down there and enjoyed their gin and tonic at 70p and had a good old natter, we all went to the bar, smashed the JD at 70p ago, started playing pool, and it was such a great laugh. It was such a great laugh, and you just and to think that only a few hours before we were all complete strangers, and we were just like 70p. Let's get on it, lads. Oh, dearie me. Is it still buffering? Anyone still there? It seems to be working on mine, but ooh. Just read. A bottle of Chilean Red, one of my favourite Syrahs. Is that how you pronounce it, Syrah? It's a Shiraz, but obviously it's a Shiraz in Europe. It's a Syrah in South America. Syria? No, Syrah. Yeah, Shiraz in Europe, Syrah in South America. Yeah, one of my favourite Syrahs is a Chilean. I've got it written down, but I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it's so nice. So good. Oh yeah. See, I got a taste for it now. Part of me thinking, oh, I wish I had a bottle of wine, kicking away somewhere. I could, I could get it open, and then have a massive headache tomorrow. I just can't deal with the tannins anymore. I think that's why I only drink maybe 2 beers a night now, maybe 3. I also think I just get drunk too quick these days. I could drink 18 pints when I was younger. Now I'd struggle to drink 4. I'm sorry this buffering's a problem, by the way. Like I said, I don't know why it's doing it. I really... Ooh, I thought I was going to spill it. I really need to sort it out, because obviously I did have 13 of you watching, and I know I can be boring, but I imagine the buffering's put a few people off, which is fair enough, because you know, if it was always buffering for me, I can see how that would get annoying. But I'm gonna have to have a look into it and see what the problem is, because it shouldn't be buffering when I've got good internet. I'm gonna repeat myself, but you know, I game and everything else and stream, and it's all fine. We can watch high definition movies and they don't buffer once. I can watch high definition box sets for hours at a time and they do not buffer. And yet for some reason YouTube Live just goes, oh no, buffering. I suppose it's to do with the upload speed rather than the download speed, but I'm not. It's worth the headache, is it? Just bear with me a second, folks. Right, just trying something else in my settings. But yeah, I've been going for an hour. I've been talking absolute rubbish for an hour. It buffers every time I move, so stop drinking. Well, I'll tell you what then. I will fill my glass up, I would just stand there and not move and sip it like that. Okay, so I'm going to move very slowly. Just reach, not try and keep my head middle of shot. Nah, it's not going to work, is it? Okay, there we go. I've got my drink. If I hold it here like that, and I'll talk, I won't move my lips. I'll just keep very still. See, what I could really do is confuse you all, and I could start like that. That wasn't buffering, that was just me pretending to buffer. Sorry. At least you can sow your tomato seeds now. That's, yeah, it's crap that your travels have been cancelled, but yeah, on the bright side, you get to sow some seeds. No, it's pretty good, that is. It's pretty good. I think that's, it sounds madness, this, but I hope from this coronavirus thing that it teaches a lot of people that so much stuff we buy and do is just completely pointless, and it's just, you know, not needed at all. When there's holidays that can be had locally, or holidays that can be done, you know, a lot cheaper than this, that and the other. People that are buying rucks and rucks of expensive food, and you know, you don't need it because you can't get it on the shelves, and you know, you're having beans on toast rather than always having a steak dinner. It'll be better for the environment, and you know, better for your wallet. So hopefully we learn something from this coronavirus, but I doubt we will. No, we won't, but it would be nice if we did. To be fair, if anything comes from coronavirus, it'd be quite nice if people just learnt to be a bit cleaner and wash their hands more, because the amount of people I see in public toilets go to the urinal, have a pee, and then walk straight out of Asda and Tesco's, and I bet they then go, oh look, a croissant, and pick it out the basket without using the tongs. Mingers. Ugh. So if anything good was to come from coronavirus, hopefully it's that. Excuse me. Alright folks, does anyone want to stay longer? Because just conscious that I've done 66 minutes, and I've run out of things to talk about that I had planned to talk about, but I'll happily talk crap for ages while I'm drinking beer, as you probably guessed. Now is the time to ask me any questions, because you're liable to get an answer, possibly a funny answer, or told to bugger off, which also could be amusing. I'll just catch up with what people have said in the chat. Radio silence. You're all watching something else. I'm just on in the background. It buffered at the wrong time, didn't it? So I was about to end the chat, and then it buffered, and I saw a question pop up, so I'll answer the question. How are you doing for the money for the van? I had 20 quid at 4.5 grand. But to be fair, other than posting it on Twitter, I haven't done a video about it yet, because with the rain and stuff, I haven't had the right settings in the background, and I want it to look fairly decent. Just in case, on the off chance it goes viral, get shared, and I manage to make the 4.5 grand. And just down my rainy, grey, miserable allotment looked really dull and boring when I did the first video. And I thought that's not good. I thought people that sub will understand. People who don't sub will be like, who's this person? So I wanted to, I just want something in the background. So I'm working on the video, and then hopefully I'll get it sorted. For those that you don't know, and for the very few that will watch this live chat, I'm trying to crowdfund a van. I started the crowdfund page a few months ago, but I haven't really publicised it other than Twitter at the moment, because I want to make a disability blogging van so I can travel up and down the country talking to people about getting outside, doing their hobbies, gardening, and mental health and disability and stuff. But because of my how can I explain it? Because of my condition now, I used to rough it before. So when I did things, went fishing, and I also want to do more activities, out and about. When I used to go fishing, for example, I'd sleep in the back of the car, or I'd just sleep on the grass with a cover over me, and I'm quite happy to rough it and survival tactics, make my own shelter, whatever. Quite cool with that. I'm good, or I used to be, but now I can't because I need a really comfy place to sleep. Otherwise, I'm just in massive amounts of pain. And even sometimes in the day, like when I go fishing, I have to get a really decent chair because I just need to relax and chill out for half an hour. And obviously, when you're roughing it or driving around in your car, you can't always do it. Plus, I can't get my mobility scooter in the back of my allotment fishing car. We have the family car and we're good for days out and this, that and the other, and we're fine and we're cool. But when the family car is being used and I want to go off and do a vlog, buffering. So if I can get a vlogging van, I can adapt it so it's got a nice comfy chair and a bed in the back for when I need a rest. It'll also have space where I can put the scooter in, get all the equipment in, and hopefully have a focal point like a table or something where I can have it like a mini studio and I can chat to people, and this, that and the other. That's the plan. It's a long plan. I can't afford it on my own, so I thought I'd crowdfund it, but I need to make a video about it. And the fact that it's gone from 8 subscribers, or 9 to 6 subscribers, means that everyone's gone, you're boring. So yeah, anyway, that's what the van's about. Put a tinfoil hat on to boost my signal. What I could do is just put an aerial on like that. Is that a better signal? I don't know, but I'm picking up 5 Live. I think England are winning the cricket, and there's still coronavirus in the UK. Yeah, it's amazing what you get on Beercan Radio. It's a joke only people from the West Midlands will get. Yeah, I think a few people. Excuse me. I think a few people are going to go now. We're down to 5, and I've been going for 72 minutes, which is longer than Liverpool lasted in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. Yeah, and it is 10:30, and I don't know what the time is across the pond, so I don't think I'm going to get many Americans come over, or from anywhere else. But yeah, it was just I was bored and I had a few things to talk about, and I thought I might as well do them on a live because I'm quite enjoying the lives. I'm quite enjoying talking absolute rubbish to you guys for a few minutes. It's just interesting, and it kind of means that I can keep my videos, my actual vlogs, shorter, because those of you folks that come to my lives are normally the same sort of buffering. You'll send me comments and I'll reply, and and you ask me questions that things I don't mention about in my videos. So we can do a live and we can all catch up, and it's really, really good. But then the people that just drop into my videos just to watch how to grow potatoes, or they want to know, I don't know, what I'm doing with my tomatoes this year, they can, and they have no interest in me personally, they can still do that, and they can skip lives. So I like lives. I think they're really good. But they're really good because YouTube have been doing them for years. Oh dear. I told you I can't drink anymore. I'm feeling drunk already, and I've had a pint and a half. Right, folks. So unless there's any questions in the next, oh, wrong can. Unless there's any questions in the next minute, I am going to disappear myself because I'm starting my second can, and I'm already feeling tipsy. And I'll probably bore you to death and go on far too long. So it's probably best that I shoot. Take care, Jim. Thanks for popping along, mate. Cheers. And there's only 6 year in, and so I think it's a good place to stop, really. I think that's quite nice. Yeah, good night, Rach. Good night, everyone. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close the laptop. I'm going to wish you all a very, very good night. And from me and Mr. Hobgoblin, cheers, and hopefully speak to you very soon. Take care, folks.